Hey everybody, so in the first episode of Homeschooled, we're going to talk about how to change your furnace filter. So this is something that we find on home inspections all the time that isn't done properly and certainly isn't done often enough. It's got to be one of the easiest things you can do as a homeowner, so let's keep watching and let's find out how to do this properly. So when you're about to change your furnace filter, you're going to want to look in between the cold air return here and the actual furnace itself. Not every home is going to be as well labeled as this one is, where it actually clearly states that the filter is here. Some will just have a metal slot here, some will have a cover, some won't, but it's always going to be in this location, in between the ducting and in between the furnace itself. So we're going to slide up this cover, put it out of the way. We'll pull out the old furnace filter, and typically you always want to try and do this when the furnace isn't running. That way it's just a little bit easier to pull the filter out. We'll take a look at the filter. In this case, this one isn't too dirty, but we're still going to replace it anyways because we want to replace these about every 90 days, regardless of whether or not they're dirty or not. They just start to wear out over time, and eventually they can start to cave in and lose their strength. And if that's the case, eventually they could end up in the bottom of the furnace. So we want to make sure we're replacing them on a regular basis, usually around every 90 days. You can go a little bit more frequent if you have allergies or pet hair, that kind of thing. But 90 days is a good rule of thumb. So this is our new air filter here, and I want to take a quick minute to talk about air filters and some of the different options and types you have. So this is going to be your most basic type of air filter. You can see it has a fairly loose weave. That's designed mostly to allow as much air as possible into the furnace while still catching hair and dust at the same time. You can buy more expensive furnace filters as well, things like HEPA filters and that kind of thing. But you have to keep in mind that you're weighing a balance between better air quality and more wear on your furnace, because obviously the tighter the weave on the furnace filter, the harder it is for air to pass through that furnace filter and into the furnace itself. So that's going to make the furnace work harder, it's going to make the motor work harder, and it may wear out your furnace a little bit sooner than the expected normal life. So in this case, we're going to use this basic filter type because I like to use those because I like to increase the airflow to my furnace. We're going to want to take note of the size of the furnace filter, and that's always a good thing to take note of before you go to the store, so you're not guessing on the furnace filter size as you're there to purchase furnace filters to replace the ones that are in your furnace right now. And then the other thing that's important to note is this airflow arrow here. So you always want to have the airflow going from the cold air return to the furnace, and then obviously the air is going to go up through the furnace, through the warm air ducts to the rest of your home. So that airflow arrow always needs to go from cold air return to furnace. So I'm going to put it there. You can see the airflow arrow there. I'm going to put that furnace filter back into the furnace here. Make sure that it's properly seated. Place the cover back on. And there you have it. Changing your furnace filter. Very easy, a simple way for you to take care of your home, make your furnace last longer and have better air quality in your home at the same time. Thanks for watching, everybody.